Hello, and welcome to another episode of What's Going On in the Bible. Gideon 2A 2B, The Dream and Psychological War. In this section, we see Gideon taking great effort to equip the Israelites with the accoutrements of psychological warfare. They freak out the Midianites, and by the time they're done, the Midianite camp runs about yelling and takes to flight. What's totally weird about this is that moments later, it says, 300 shofars were sounded, and the Lord, yes, I know it's in gray, turned every Midianite man's sword against his foes. So which one was it? Was the victory a result of psychological warfare? Or was it a miracle? You may say to yourself, I think what happened was that it was one and then the other. In other words, Gideon sets up the psychological warfare, freaks everybody out, and then God steps in with a miracle. And in fact, there's nothing wrong with that philosophy. Many commentators say that first it was psychological warfare, and then when it says that God turned their swords against each other, that was a miracle. But this class has a required reading, and that is this. One might ask, does the earth turn or does the sun rise? Well, you know from science class that the earth turns, and it makes it look to the eye that the sun is going up. But it would not be false to say that also the sun rises, because we all know that when we are standing looking, the sun in fact does rise. So it's not untrue, it's just a matter of perspective. Said otherwise, if you are a scientist, the earth turns. But if you're a poet, the sun rises. In poetry, the sun rising is a symbol of hope and looking towards the future of a new day. And we need poetry in our lives. So let us keep both perspectives on the table. This brings us back to our text. Here, psychological warfare. Here, every Midianite man's sword is brought against each other. Why? The text says that the Lord did it. So was it psychological warfare or a miracle? Well, the power and perception approach is not that one happened and then the next, but it depends on how you look at it. To the scientist, it was psychological warfare. But to the person of belief in God, it is a miracle. To the author of the Bible, the author was willing to include both of them, clear evidence of psychological warfare and a depiction of it being a miracle. In a sense saying that even psychology and science can be an aspect of a miracle. When a team wins a game, does the team win or does the coach win? Depends on how you look at it. And that is the reason why I've grayed out the Lord doing it. Because if you look at it one way, 300 shofars are sounded, the Midianite men's swords, almost as if by magic, turn on each other. It's psychological. But if you look closer, or look in a different way, it's God doing it. That's the required power and perception interpretation.